In the Nikolaev region, air defense forces shot down 10 Shahid-136 kamikaze drones at night. According to Ukrinform, the public relations service of the Southern Aviation Command announced this on Facebook. On the night of October 21 to 22, 10 Shahid-136 kamikaze drones were shot down by the forces and means of air defense of the UG Aviation Command over the Nikolaev region, the report says. As Ukrinform reported, on October 21, rocket and artillery units of the armed forces of Ukraine carried out 220 fire sorties in the south. From February 24 to October 22, the armed forces of Ukraine eliminated about 67,070 Russian aggressors, which is 320 more than the day before. According to Ukrinform, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported this on Facebook. Also, the defenders of Ukraine destroyed 2,579, plus 6, enemy tanks, 5,266, plus 8, armored fighting vehicles, 1653, plus 5, artillery mounts, 373, plus 1, MLRS, 189, plus 0, air defense systems. Aircraft, 270, plus 1, helicopters, 243, plus 0, tactical UAVs, 1341, plus 16, cruise missiles, 329, plus 0, ships/boats, 16, plus 0, automotive equipment and tank trucks, 4,021, plus 15, special equipment, 148, plus 1. Explosions sounded in the Khmelnytsky region during an air raid. Serhiy Gomoly, the head of the Khmelnytsky OVA, announced this on Telegram, Ukrinform reports. Explosions are heard in the Khmelnytsky region, Gomoly wrote. He urged residents of the region to take care of themselves and stay in shelters. Subsequently, a message appeared that the lights went out in Khmelnytsky. Khmelnytsky, a city without electricity. Please, if possible, stock up on water, because in an hour it will also disappear, the press service of the Khmelnytsky City Council said in a statement. In the Chernivtsi region, the plane of the armed forces of Ukraine shot down an enemy missile. It fell into the lake. Ruslan Zaporonyuk, head of the Chernivtsi Regional Military Administration, announced this on Telegram, according to Ukrinform. Over the Dniester district of the Chernivtsi region, the plane of the armed forces of Ukraine shot down a rocket that fell into the lake, Zaporonyuk said. There were no damages to objects and houses of citizens. As Ukrinform reported, in the Mykolaiv region on the night of October 22, air defense forces shot down 10 Shahid-136 kamikaze drones. A Russian missile was shot down over one of the districts of the Kiev region. As Ukrinform reported, Andriy Nebitov, head of the Kiev region police, announced this on Telegram. There were no casualties or damage, debris fell into the forest. Thanks to the air defense forces for their excellent work, he said. Nebitov also urged everyone to stay in cover during the air raid. As Ukrinform reported, an aircraft of the armed forces of Ukraine shot down an enemy missile in the Chernivtsi region. It fell into the lake. In the area of the Rivne region, the arrival of an enemy missile was recorded. Vitaly Koval, head of the Rivne OVA, announced this on Telegram, Ukrinform reports. There is a hit. I emphasize, do not upload videos and photos to the network. Wait for official information. And stay in shelters, wrote Koval. In Rivne, rockets hit an energy infrastructure facility. Residents of nearby territories were evacuated. Trips are made at the city's critical infrastructure, Rivne Mayor Alexander Tretiak said on Telegram. In medical institutions of the city, medical aid points have already been deployed. According to the mayor, residents of nearby areas were quickly evacuated to safe places. Psychologists work with them. They have hot tea and food. First, no casualties. Power engineers are now working to restore power supply. As Ukrinform reported, explosions thundered in the Khmelnytsky region, and electricity went out in the regional center. Air defense worked in the Chernivtsi and Lvov regions. In Lutsk, Russian missiles hit an energy infrastructure facility, and there were problems with electricity in part of the city. Mayor of Lutsk Igor Polishchuk announced this on Telegram, Ukrinform reports. Arrival at the power facility. There is no electricity near part of the city, Polishchuk wrote. He urged the inhabitants of Lutsk to stock up on water. The mayor also noted that rescuers are working on the spot. Subsequently, Polishchuk said that a man was injured as a result of the rocket attack on Russia, and the house was damaged by the shock wave. The shock wave damaged a private house. One civilian received burns, he wrote on Facebook. In addition, enemy arrivals were recorded in the Rivne region. In Rivne, rockets hit an energy infrastructure facility. Residents of nearby territories were evacuated. Explosions were also heard in the Khmelnytsky region. In the regional center, the electricity went out. In the Odessa region, 3 people were injured as a result of rocket attacks on energy facilities. As a result of a rocket attack, 2 cruise missiles hit a critical infrastructure facility in the Odessa region. Medical assistance is being provided to 3 victims, the press service of the Odessa Regional Military Directorate reported. In the Kirovograd region, Russian missiles hit important energy facilities in the Kropivnitsky and Golovanovsky districts, and a power outage has already occurred in the region. In the Cherkasy region, a critical infrastructure facility was attacked by 5 enemy kamikaze drones. As Ukrinform reported, air defense operated in Chernivtsi, Kiev and Lvov regions. The Russian Federation continues to look for ways to restore communication across the Dnieper in the Kherson region after the damage to the Antonovsky Bridge of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to Ukrinform, this was reported by the British Ministry of Defense on Twitter, citing intelligence data. Russian forces continue to strengthen the crossings across the Dnieper, and have also completed the construction of a barge bridge next to the damaged Antonovsky Bridge in Kherson. Although the use of heavy barge bridges was almost certainly part of the Soviet plans for operations in Europe, it is likely that the Russian military is forced to use bridges of this type for the first time in decades, the agency said. The British Ministry of Defense noted that the use of civilian barges is likely to give Russia additional material and logistical advantages, since it lost a significant amount of military bridge equipment and engineering personnel during the invasion. If the barge bridge is damaged, Russia will almost certainly try to quickly repair or replace the damaged sections, as their forces and crossings across the Dnieper are under increasing pressure in Kherson, the agency added. As Ukrinform reported, British intelligence had previously stated that Russia was unlikely to be able to form combat-ready formations on the territory of Belarus. The Russian army shelled 8 regions of Ukraine in a day. According to Ukrinform, this is stated in the summary information of the regional military administrations on the situation in the regions of Ukraine as of 9 o'clock on Saturday, October 22. In the Zaporozhye region at night, the enemy launched 2 missile strikes on the village of Zareknoye in the Kamishevskaya UTK. There are no casualties or serious damage. Detailed information is being specified. At night, the Russians attacked the Cherkasy region, according to preliminary data, with 5 kamikaze drones. There was a shelling of one of the critical infrastructure facilities in the Cherkasy region. Firefighting continues. There were no casualties. Detailed information is being specified. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, at night, the Russians fired at the Nikopol district, hit the villages of Marganets and Nikopol. More than 20 houses and several gas pipelines were damaged in Nikopol. About 1,000 families were left without electricity. Power engineers carry out restoration work. Over the past day, the enemy launched 2 strikes from the S-300 air defense system on an industrial infrastructure facility in Kharkov. 11 people were injured. The aggressors also fired on Volchansk, the village of Dvureknia and other settlements in Kharkov, Chugov, Bogodakovsky and Kupiansky districts. Private houses damaged. Over the past 24 hours, 3 people have been hospitalized with injuries. The demoning of the territories of Kharkiv region liberated from the enemy continues. Pyrotechnicians of the State Emergency Service neutralized another 803 explosive objects. In the Lugansk region, the armed forces of Ukraine from Zolotarevka and Belogorivka repelled the attacks of the Russians. During the day, the enemy tried 8 times to storm the positions of the defenders of the Luhansk region, but had no success. The Russians fired artillery and mortar attacks on positions of the armed forces of Ukraine 26 times and launched 2 airstrikes. The armed forces of Ukraine confirmed the defeat of 3 strongholds and 10 areas of concentration of weapons and equipment, as well as 3 positions of enemy anti-aircraft missile systems. Rocket troops and artillery attacked 2 command posts, 14 areas of concentration of manpower, weapons and military equipment, ammunition, the Russian S-300 anti-aircraft missile system, artillery in firing positions and 5 more important objects. In the Donetsk region in the morning, Russian troops fired on the village of Ostroy, Kurakhovskaya urban territorial community. There are no injured or dead. The high-voltage network was damaged, about 200 subscribers were left without electricity. In the morning, the enemy shelled the village of Novokranka near Ugledar, 2 private houses were damaged. Information about the victims is being specified. Russians fire at the front line, Marinka, Krasnogorovka, Avdiivka, Bakhmut. Water and electricity supply is being restored in the liberated territories. For the 3rd day in the Donetsk region, 3 people were killed, 10 were injured. At night, over the Nikolaev region, the Air Defense Forces of the Yug Aviation Command shot down 10 Shahid-136 kamikaze drones. During the day, the village of Galitsyn was under fire. 1 person died and another received shrapnel wounds. Damaged power grid, gas pipeline, part of one of the settlements without electricity and gas. The house also caught fire. In the evening, the Kutsurub community was shelled. The hit was recorded outside the village. There were no casualties. Also last night, as a result of enemy shelling, 8 garages burned down in one of the villages of Pervomaiskia. There were no casualties. Shelling of the outskirts of the village of Ingul was recorded at night. There are no casualties or damage. In the Kherson region, active hostilities continue. The invaders continue to shell the Berislav region, killing civilians and destroying civilian infrastructure. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the enemy fired at military and civilian infrastructure facilities. The fire affected areas of settlements near the collision line. Among them are Novovoskresenskoye, Myrnoye, Davidov Brod and Novogradnevo. According to OK South, in the Borozensky area, the control and observation point of the enemy was destroyed. 2 ammunition depots were blown up. The Russians continue to agitate the local population to evacuate. In particular, they offer to leave in their own cars, which surround their military equipment at crossings. Relatively calm, without shelling, the night passed in other regions of Ukraine. In the Odessa region, 3 people were injured as a result of rocket attacks on energy facilities. This was reported by the press service of the Odessa Regional Military Administration on Telegram, Ukrinform reports. As a result of rocket fire, 2 cruise missiles hit a critical infrastructure facility in the Odessa region. Medical assistance is being provided to 3 victims, the message says. As a result of rocket attacks on the energy infrastructure facility, there is no electricity in several settlements. The head of the Odessa OVA Maxim Marchenko wrote about this in Telegram. According to him, the Housing and Communal Services and the State Emergency Service are now dealing with the liquidation of the consequences of the strikes. Ukrenergo and DTEK are doing everything to restore the operation of the power grids as soon as possible. As Ukrinform reported, on the morning of October 22, the enemy launched a massive missile attack on critical infrastructure facilities throughout Ukraine. In the Odessa region, as a result of rocket attacks, several settlements were left without electricity. In the Kirovohrad region, Russian missiles hit important energy facilities in the Kropivnitsky and Golovanovsky districts. The head of the Kirovohrad OVA, Andriy Rakovich, announced this on Telegram, Ukrinform reports. The enemy launched missile strikes on important energy facilities in the Kropivnitsky and Golovanovsky districts, the report says. Rajkovic noted that there are already power outages in the region. He appealed to all enterprises, especially to the owners of large retail facilities, networks, catering, as well as to all residents of the region, with a request to significantly reduce electricity consumption. As Ukrinform reported, explosions thundered in the Khmelnytsky region, and electricity went out in the regional center. Air defense worked in Chernivtsi, Lvov and Kiev regions. 2 Russian missiles were shot down over the Chernihiv and Sumy regions. According to Ukrinform, this was reported on Telegram by the Sever Operational Command. One of the missiles was destroyed by air defense forces, the second was neutralized from a fighter. As Ukrinform reported, on the morning of October 22, rocket hits were recorded in the Khmelnytsky and Rivne regions. Air defense worked in the Chernivtsi and Lvov regions. Newly mobilized Russians sent to the front in Ukraine are calling their relatives en masse and begging to get them out of the war at any cost. According to Ukrinform, this is the topic of another interception by the SBU, published in Telegram. The Russian Mobiks in the Donbass started to panic. The newly mobilized are thrown into hell, where the armed forces of Ukraine turn them into fertilizer for the earth. Therefore, they call their relatives en masse, begging them to get out of the war at any cost. The SBU intercepted several similar conversations of the invaders in the Donetsk region. Zaya, do you hear? Call your parents. Call Vanya's wife. Raise the issue again at the level of Bogomaz, governor of the Bryansk region of Russia, edition. We are all on the front line, they send us. There are about 40,000 of them. Against. Ushnikov is standing. Of the platoon that left, 3 survived, the Russian complains to his wife. Another calls not to be limited to local officials and to turn to the President of Russia. Probably, only here the Rashists realize that being cannon fodder is their mission in this war, the SBU stressed.